As someone who always had doubts and nerves, it took a lot for me to learn how to finally kick them to the curb. Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm talking about doubts. We all have them. They come up often, and having doubts in general is natural, right? We're going to be worried and have doubts about things, especially something we've never ever done before. That's normal. But where it becomes a problem is when these doubts stop you from actually moving forward and from taking action or from doing the things that you want to do. I used to worry about everything, what someone would think about me, what someone would say about me. I mean, I'm not a mind reader, so I don't actually know what anybody's thinking about me, but I would worry about it. And then I wouldn't do things. Well, what if somebody saw me and they thought that I looked whatever, or that I said something stupid, right? I would worry about everything. And I doubted my abilities, my strengths, right? Who I was. And these doubts and these worries ultimately led to me not trusting myself, right? That I could do hard things. And then a catastrophic event happened in my life, and turned out I could do hard things. I could do the hardest thing that I'd ever had to face before, but I doubted that I could do something a lot, I guess, simpler and easier, right, than surviving multiple surgeries after being hit by a bus. I used to doubt that I could stand up in front of a crowd of people and speak eloquently. Do it all the time now. I doubted that I could travel on my own. Done it a bunch of times, right? These are small things in hindsight, but at the time, even thinking about them brought up all these doubts and these worries. Back when I was in high school, one of my friends over summer vacation had gone whitewater rafting. Oh, I could never. I immediately doubted that I could do this as I'm sitting in a classroom with no possibility of going rafting at that precise moment in time, right? It's in a classroom. It was the fall. Immediately, I can never. But that doubt was just a thought. I didn't know for a fact whether I could or I couldn't. I had a thought, but I immediately dismissed it and doubted my abilities. I have since been whitewater rafting, and it was a blast. It turned out I could do the thing that I didn't think I could, right? And this is why we pay attention to our thoughts and to when doubt arises. Is this something I really can do, or is this something I really can't do, right? I'm 5'7". If my doubts were around getting to be 6 feet, I mean, those doubts are factual because I'm an adult and I've stopped growing. But anything else in my life, we have the opportunity to test things out and to see whether we can do them. And so that's why talking about doubts and how to kick them to the curb for good. And that doesn't mean you'll never have doubts again, but you'll know exactly what to do when you have them. And as this is the mindfulness journey, I bet you can gather that I used mindfulness to help me kick my doubts to the curb. Because mindfulness is about so much more than meditating. It's about being in this moment. And in this moment, I'm not caught up in doubts and worries. I'm here in the present. I'm faced with something, and I have the ability then to make a choice to try something out, to test it to see if it works, to go against what that initial doubt is telling me, and to move forward. Does that mean I'm going to be a success at everything I put my hand to? Well, no, of course not. But by letting go of my doubts, also learn that, hey, mistakes happen and they're not the end of the world. And they don't reinforce my doubts. right? I make a mistake if I try something out and it doesn't work and it's a mistake, it doesn't mean that any initial doubts I had about my abilities were factual. It just means it didn't work this time. And a way of using mindfulness to help with our doubts is this concept that I talk about often called beginner's mind. It's this idea of bringing curiosity to everything we do, that childlike wonder, right, where kids don't care and they just dive right in and they figure things out. It's bringing some of that to what you're doing. And it's also being a scientist in your own life, right? Testing things out. How does this work, right? A scientist doesn't do an experiment, and if the experiment doesn't work, if their hypothesis was wrong, and so they failed, the scientist doesn't give up and say, well, I'm a terrible scientist, I'm too stupid. They go back and they go over their method and their apparatus. I mean, I'm just throwing out all the science words that I know. They go back over the experiment and then they try it again by changing something, right? And imagine just bringing that to what you're doing. So as part of the mindfulness journey, I do online courses and I do these YouTube videos. I'd never done any of this stuff before. And I could very easily allow my doubts of not being a videographer, not being a copywriter, not being a course creator, right? These are all labels. These are all labels. And I could use them all and say, well, I'm not that. So I doubt that I could do this. So then I'm not going to try, right? Very easy. I mean, doubts come up all the time as an entrepreneur running my own business. 90% of the time, I don't know what I'm doing with the tech side of things until I try it. I bring this beginner's mind to it and I figure it out. Google is a wonder. YouTube is great. I watch so many videos and trainings and to figure out how to do things like how to edit this video. I'd never done video editing before. I do it all on iMovie on my MacBook. Super simple and easy. But the first time I went to do it, I had the initial doubt of, I don't know what I'm doing. How am I going to do this? This isn't going to work, right? Thoughts arise. I don't listen to them anymore because I use my mindfulness. And I figured it out. I brought in, like, I uploaded the video, I opened it up in iMovie, and I figured it out. Am I the best at recording videos? No. But I don't need to be. The most important part of these videos is the stuff coming out of my mouth and not the quality of the video or the editing process. But I could very easily have been like, well, nope, can't do it because I don't know how, I don't have the team, and how am I going to do it, right? Been there before. I've definitely have let doubt stop me from doing things, but not anymore. I'm recording this video and most of my videos lately post-surgery. There was definitely a time where I would never have stood up on camera like this because my doubts of like, well, no one's going to want to listen to this. Who's going to want to look at you like this? Would have stopped me. And so if you take nothing else from this video, take this idea of I can notice my doubts and I can let them go and do hard things anyways. You can launch the program. You can go on YouTube. You can jump on Instagram stories, right? These are all things that might trigger some doubts because doubts arise when we're doing something new for the first time. Because there's this idea that we have that we're going to be perfect at everything the very first time we do it. And if we're not, well, then I just don't want to do it. No, that has definitely come up for me. I even see it in my niece who's 6. She hates writing because it's not her strongest skill set. So it's always a fight. But her writing, because she has to practice, because she's in school and they had to do writing, has improved so much. And she's starting to notice, oh, hey, this is actually pretty good. But the resistance that would show up because she wasn't perfect at it. And that's what happens when we listen to our doubts. We start to resist, we procrastinate, we avoid. But by noticing, by paying attention to our doubts, we can kick them to the curb. We can stop listening to them, because doubts are thoughts and thoughts are not facts. Now I teach inside the mindfulness journey numerous meditations to help you learn how to start to pay attention to your thoughts. We do this, we practice by meditating regularly to notice our doubts, to notice our thoughts, to notice when these things show up. And I teach you how to metaphorically sit beside them, right? And doubts and fears are here, and how can I be with them? How can I notice them and not attach to them? How can I just kind of be alongside them? So imagine right now, as you're listening to this video, doubts are here, or worries, and they're sitting right here on the seat next to you. And seeing if you can open up to just being alongside them. Don't have to start off by being best buddies with them, but learning how to just be. Okay, this is what I'm feeling. This is what's here. You sit with this, and how long can I sit with this? Noticing thoughts. Like when doubts arise as a thought, and sometimes they can be loud thoughts, right? Like, you can absolutely not do this. No, we don't want to, right? Noticing that. Seeing if you can sit with those thoughts. Okay, this is what's coming up for me. Noticing the thoughts, and I'm going to breathe my way through it. Every time these thoughts and doubts arise, noticing them, being with them, and breathing your way through. The more we notice, the more we pay attention to these thoughts and to these doubts and these worries and these fears when they arise. And we can notice them, and we can still take decisive action to do whatever is in front of us, to take care of this situation, to manage it, to work our way through it without letting doubts hinder us and stop us in our tracks. So, as I said, mindfulness and meditation around thoughts is how I learned how to kick them to the curb, to show up on camera when I was feeling nervous, to walk into a room where I didn't know anybody, to travel on my own, all things I could never have done before, because I let my doubts keep me small, keep me playing it safe, and keep me in this little bubble where nothing could hurt me. But life still happens. We still get hurt. There is no bubble that can absolutely protect us. So if we're letting our thoughts and our doubts keep us small, not keeping us safe, it just might feel like it in the moment, but it's keeping us from living and being, having the life that we want and dream of for ourselves. Learning how to pay attention to thoughts. Inside my 7-day free challenge, which I will post a sign-up link below this, I teach you how to be with our thoughts, to notice how it shows up in our body. We work on our thoughts. These are all meditations, thoughts meditations, meditations coming to notice emotions, because thoughts feed emotions, and then they show up as physical sensations in the body. So we got a meditation for that too. As I said, I'll put the link in the description below this video so you can sign up and you can get started. 7 days, 10 minutes a day, right, for free, to learn how to start being alongside our thoughts, our doubts, our fears, right? Use these skills to do the things that you want to do. If you are trying to start a YouTube channel and you're caught up in like, but oh, my hair looks terrible. I mean, could your hair look worse than this? Probably not. You can do it anyways. So let's get started today with joining the 7-day free challenge. Until my next video, take care and be well. Bye.